the Gauntlet. Let's go.
If you smell what the Gauntlet is cooking.
Yo, what's up? It is I, Denzel Snipes, and this is the Gauntlets, another Saturday night. Ask that you take a break for just 1 hour, from your college football, watching. It's been a crazy day already. If in case you're going out to, go out to the bar and watch the games or whatever, or you want to take the lovely one out on a nice little dinner, just while she's getting ready, just tune in to the Gauntlet. I mean, she's going to be an hour, so, I mean, it's fine. But yes, this is me. It's Denzel Snipes, and you see me. I'm sporting the Zoo York. Like to thank you all for tuning in to the Gauntlet. But let's go ahead and bring in our crew, and that is out there from DC. What's left of him right now it's his 33rd birthday, y'all. So y'all gotta bear with him. He's getting a little up there. And he had a nice one last night. JJ Jenkins, the Ravens aficionado, come on in.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, let everybody know how your birthday weekend was real quick.
So it started off pretty good. I didn't even realize I was throwing it back like that. It kind of snuck up on me. I went to El Centro, and you got tequila. If y'all don't know me, tequila and I don't get along. Like, we are never friends. And unfortunately, they got me. So I've just been here. How are you doing, though?
I'm doing good, doing all right, man. I'm actually headed out myself after this show. So let's go ahead and bring in, I'm just headed to a get together. I got a bottle of Jack Daniels and we just gonna get it in. I'll probably end up like you tomorrow morning. So but let's bring in our two guests. One of them, he is 1/4 of the pundit's pundit, Jacob Christner. Come on in.
What is going on? Now, I see your title, by the way. The title, thank you, JJ. I see your little title thing where you go, if you smell, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you're the Rock of the Nation of Domination, I am Owen Hart. I am
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like it. And also our other guest, it's been a while, but, he's coming on back. He is one of the hosts of The Sip Off, who just foreclosed on their second season alongside Megan Price and our boy AB. Let's bring him on in, Jahan Phillips. Let's go.
What's up, my people?
No. You're on The Sip Off, and he's doing all the drinking. Come on, bro. Come on, move.
Hey, what can I say? Listen, it was birthday weekend. He had to show us up.
He put the part-time in the part-time for real.
Yeah. Part-time public figure.
Hey, kind of like Tony La Russa.
Well, I think now you should be up to about 96% public figure.
Nah, I'm still at about 57.
Man, you was at 76. How you go down?
I decrease every show.
You're supposed to increase per season.
That's what happens when you go with Nia Long.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Nia Long, listen. That beat us right in the Sports Moron, for real.
If that happens, that's coming right up. If that happens to be yours. But just like to thank everybody who's a first-time watcher. And if you direct your eyes to the bottom ticker, please leave a like on the stream and subscribe. If you are new, donations are welcome. Our Cash App is Gauntlet Sports Media. And with that being said, we are going to kick this Saturday night off with my favorite, your favorite, y'all's favorite, Sports Moron of the Week. These are the ones who have made the most egregious takes, actions, what have you, to have you thinking, what were you thinking? Shout out to Tyler Ingram. He's out there doing this thing. We're going to sneak him back in for one show only one of these days on one of these shows. But for right now, I think he's got a little something, to tell everybody.
Are you guys kidding me?
Holler at him
Are
real
you
quick,
guys
Tyler.
kidding me?
All right, listen. I have a little Sports Moron of the Week. It's to every single person in this world who said that the offense of the Baltimore Ravens is the main reason why they lost this game against the Miami Dolphins. Just tell us you don't like the dude. Just tell us you don't really care about what happens with the team, and just say that and everything, because that is probably the most idiotic take in the world. I don't really like to question people's IQ on football, but I did question your IQ when you sit there and say that, because, I mean, you put up 31 or 38 points, and typically you're supposed to win. So I would just say, just steer clear from talking to me anymore, because I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to tell you this part. Everybody knows, including the people that don't watch tennis, Roger Federer is now gone. And after 24 years. And one of the biggest things that I'd seen, he loses in his final match, in a doubles match, against a guy named Jack Sock and a guy named Francis Tiafoe. Now, one of the issues, I'll tell you, here's the sports moron of mine of the week. Is anybody on social media blasting on Francis Tiafoe for being the one or one half of the ones that ended one of the greatest legends in history, ending his career? Why would that be? Let me see. I mean, but Roger was classy. Francis Tiafoe is not classy. I mean, people may or may not know him, but guess what? Nigerian kid ended up being a really, really good tennis player. I'm going to bring this part up to you right now. This isn't the 1950s, the 60s, the 70s, even 80s or anything. There's all kinds of different worlds now. There's all kinds of different cultures. There's different everything. Americans are from all parts of this universe. You're going to have to get over it and learn and live with it. This is over. Quit making this. Roger is white. Francis Tiafoe is black. Knock it off and quit being dumb. Tiafoe made it. He made it. He beat him. He's trying to win himself. He's not going to give up for it and do a little dance and say, oh, I'm going to get it. He's got to go for it now. He's a 20-year-old trying to move his way up, and he wants to be number one.
All right. I have several sports morons of the week. Sarver, owner of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, this week, he, in light of the allegations, has been asked to sell his team. So he's in that process. And also the Boston Celtics coach, Udoka. How do you cheat on Nia Long is the biggest thing ever. But beyond that, how do you get caught with somebody you having relations with inside of the organization? And it's the only female staff in the organization. So I'm not understanding that. You got to do better. Got to be more careful. So for those reasons, they are my sports morons of the week.
So my sports moron of the week is anyone out there, and I'm on Bleacher Report heavy every week, every day, and I look at the comments from everywhere, and I got a cut from my boy Jalen Hurts one time. I'm not an Eagles fan, but he is from the city of Houston, and he's out there ripping pretty hard. But sports moron to anyone out there who said, "Oh, Jalen Hurts can't throw." So check this out. And the guy that just gave his last sports moron, he's an Eagles fan. He can attest to this. So this man went 26 of 31 for 333 yards and a touchdown pass. Now, he did have 11 rushes for 57 yards and 2 touchdown runs. But in the context of throwing, someone who typically can't throw would not be throwing for 333 yards against a pretty, fairly good defense in Minnesota and completed 26 passes. Ever since last year, they've been trying to make this guy out to be like the second coming of Tim Tebow, and he's only getting better. He's learning to read the defenses better. He's going through his reads and everything. You all talk about, what about him throwing in a tight window? Listen, he's getting the ball off. He's getting the ball off quick. If nothing's there, he's running, and if his receivers are so fast that they're getting open, I mean, why would he throw to somebody who's in double coverage, Moss isn't on his team or anything like that. He's got a great receiving core. He's taking what the defense gives them. If you've ever played organized ball in your life, especially on offense, any coach will tell you take what the defense gives you. Jalen Hurts is taking what the defense is giving him, and he's not trying to fix what ain't broken. So right now they're playing angry. So to sit there and say, he can't throw, and he's not the reason why they're winning games, it's totally egregious. So that's Sports Moron of the Week. And let's go ahead and bring the crew back on. We got Jahan Phillips, we got Jacob Christner, and we got what's left of J.J. Jenkins.
He's supposed to be sick and he's eating.
Hey, he's getting something in his stomach. I'm not mad at him. I think he's going to come right back. But I do want to move on to our next topic, and that is our player of the week, wide receiver Mussin Muhammad. I know you got something to say about him because he was a Bear at one point. But who is Musin Muhammad? So Musi Muhammad played with the Carolina Panthers from 96 to 2004. He's with the Bears from 05 to 07, and he returned to the Panthers for 2008 and 2009. He was a first-team All-Pro, a two-time Pro Bowler in 99 and 04. He was receiving yards leader in 04, receiving touchdowns leader in 04, and a reception co-leader in 2000. In his career, he had 860 receptions for 11,438 yards with 62 receiving touchdowns. Musi Muhammad was a part of the 2003 crew who were nicknamed the Cardiac Cats. This was the Panthers team who in 2 short years went from 1-15 to 11-5, won the NFC, and was a blown John Casey kickoff away from possibly knocking out Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. All wardrobe mishap on halftime aside. But, and when he left the Panthers, I felt he was still fairly, more than serviceable when he went to the Bears. He also, now granted, you shaking your head, but I want you to keep in mind, Rex Grossman was his quarterback. Anyway.
I'm well aware. Aware.
But with Musi Muhammad, guy out of Michigan State, 6'2", 215, flat out stud. Him lining opposite of Steve Smith actually formed a formidable wide receiver crew. So he is our pick for player of the week. And I'm going to pass it on to Jahan Phillips, man. Your thoughts on wide receiver, the Moose, Mussin Muhammad.
Hold on. First things first, because I heard nothing for the last 5 minutes. You were on mute. Who was your sports moron?
Oh, it was anyone who said Jalen Hurts couldn't throw. Pretty much the same type of people that say Lamar Jackson can't. But anyway, Jahan,
Twitter morons.
Jahan Phillips, go ahead, man.
Mussin Muhammad was a staple. I live in the North Carolina area, so I see a lot of Panthers. I see a lot of Panthers games. Mussin Muhammad was one of those chain movers. When you needed a chain move, you could throw to him and he make it happen. Those are the type of players that you need. He wasn't like Steve Smith. He wasn't the flamboyant. He wasn't the flash. He wasn't the microphone, the mouthpiece. He was the I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to get it done quietly. Much akin to Stephen Davis. I think they are in the same light of player that Carolina Panthers have had. Just a workhorse. He was just a workhorse. And deserved a championship. Casey kicks aside, Vinatieri heroics aside, like they won the NFC championship. I was upset. That was one of the first times in my life that I've ever been upset with the Carolina Panthers. Because like I said, they're the home team. I don't mind them, but I had a team already before we had got the Panthers. So Philadelphia Eagles are my team, and they beat the Eagles in that NFC championship game to actually go to the Super Bowl to face New England. So that was a little bit of a bitter time in my life where I was upset with the Panthers. But he deserved a championship if anybody deserved it. Great guy, charitable guy. You hear nothing but great things about his work in the organization and the community here. Mussin Muhammad. That's all.
Jacob, your thoughts on Mussin Muhammad?
Well, my head shaking is not against necessarily Muhammad, but just this is basically what the Bears were and have been for this time. And I mean, I've been a 38-year Bears fan. This just happens. He comes to the Bears off to 1,406 yards. Comes there off of 1,406 yards and 16 touchdowns. He led the NFL. What does he do? 748, 826, and like 560 yards. Something along those numbers. It showed, and I know, see, and that's the thing. It showed, you're talking about Rex Grossman's quarterback. It was also Kyle Orton.
Yeah, true.
But here's the thing about Moose. It didn't do this anywhere else, but he dropped balls in Chicago. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know of anything like that. I don't know if Tom Brady disposed the ball or pre the ball up or whatever. As a it wasn't that, or he deflated the balls. I don't know what it was, but he dropped a ton. But the biggest issue with him by itself is, like as you guys said, he was a chain mover. It was the only thing he was in Chicago because he only had about 9 or 10 career touchdowns in 3 years, 16 in 1 year in his final year in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it shows. See, and this happens with the Bears because they end up remember, they got Khalil Mack, and he did great in his first year, kept getting injured after that. Now he's kind of blowing it up again. The Bears organization just has a problem. It just has an all-time problem. And Musi Muhammad was just an example. I can name many more.
And all right, it's on you, JJ. Your thoughts on the Moose, wide receiver Mussin Muhammad.
Sorry, very interesting take from Jacob over there, because I believe he came in at the same time where they had Bernard, Berrien, and Marty Booker after Marty Booker had a good year from I think 2003, 2004, or maybe he might have been not on the team anymore. But Musin was pretty much, he and Keyshawn Johnson are a lot alike, in my opinion, in the simple fact that they don't have the blazing speed, but they're big and they can catch. He did have some drops in Chicago, but for the most part over in Carolina, he was very much reliable possession receiver. Jahan alluded earlier in the segment is that Smitty was the explosive threat. Smitty was the deep ball guy, one that was going to make the splash play. But they had a great cause in the U.S. Musin was equipped enough. I did enjoy playing with Carolina, that in reference, because I did like Musin Muhammad and Stephen Davis too.
That Panther squad, if like Jahan said, all heroics and John Casey aside, I just kind of feel, because they could have beaten New England, but you know what? I kind of feel like anyone from the AFC, well, I don't know. Well, actually, no. I would probably go on as far as saying the Colts, even at that time period, they were just that tough. They were 11-5, and I can't remember the number off the top of my head as far as how many close wins they had that season. But had that been playing anybody but the Patriots, I do think they win that ring. Because Musin went to 2 Super Bowls because he lost to Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl 41. So he had 2 shots at it. He does absolutely deserve a ring and everything. But moving on to our next topic, we're at the 18-minute mark, and that is something new that we are starting. And that is our Gauntlet Grinders for week 2. Now, Gauntlet Grinders are basically who we feel are our outstanding performers for week 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the horn. We'll start off with Jahan, and you let us know who your Gauntlet Grinder is for week 2.
Believe it or not, it's the Las Vegas Aces. I want to say shout out to them on winning this WNBA championship. They were clearly and far and away the best team in the WNBA. Felt it was a foregone conclusion. Alyssa Thomas, she definitely balled out all her triple doubles in the finals, but Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Becky Hammond. Congratulations, ladies.
Okay, now real quick, it actually was NFL. So pick a player from last week.
All right. Even better. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. I know that many people do not have him as QB1, did not want him as QB1. But he has definitely showcased himself. At one point in time, he was 10 of 10 on completions and attempts during the game against Minnesota. It was a complete game, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, just showcasing himself as QB1. So Jalen Hurts gets my Gauntlet Grinder this week.
All right, man. I'm going to sit there and say my own quarterback, Lamar Jackson, for the simple fact of the matter is all season long, we always had struggled this game because we said once Miami showed the zero blitz on him, he looked frustrated, didn't look the same type of quarterback. And he came in, defeated it, albeit in a loss. But he had kind of came out with 318 yards, 3 touchdowns passing. Then he had 119 rushing yards, 1 touchdown rushing, on top of basically over 70% completion percentage for the game. You're going that type of performance. Yes, I definitely do. That type of performance is worthy of the Gauntlet Grinder, and that is the type of performance you'll see if the man continues to reach his ceiling. And if you get to that far, you're probably going to win 99.99% of your games. So Lamar is my Gauntlet Grinder for week 2.
Let me tell you this. Since Jawan got to do, maybe by accident, he got to do a Gauntlet Grinder that wasn't football. I'm going to do a non-football and a football. My non-football is to Megan Price. That is the grinder. She is not only a Gauntlet Grinder for week 1, 2, or whatever. She is a Gauntlet Grinder since she's been there, even before I was here. She's a grinder, constant grinder. She's always on the work. She's always tough. She's always going at it. And she deserves all the props we get. She is the thank you. We appreciate every bit of your work, Megan. We love you to death. Now, as far as the Gauntlet Grinder for the week 2 for NFL, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua. And I am telling you this right now. He has spent most of his time, he got himself benched in the middle of big situations, got himself benched when they were needed. They thought he was done. They thought he was going to be you talk about another Tebow. They thought that was going to be the same way. They thought he had too crazy of a windup. And look what he does last week. And look what he does this year. He deserves all the credit in the world for grinding it out and sticking with it, despite the idiot fans, despite everybody giving up on, despite the media, despite everything. So Tua Tagovailoa.
You know, it's real crazy how 3 of us on this panel have Gauntlet Grinders from the same game. It was just an amazing game. It was game of the week, y'all. You know, hit up YouTube and look up the highlights just in case you missed it. But my Gauntlet Grinder of the week is your boy Tyreek Hill. Now, at one point in time, I believe in the fourth quarter, he was only 6 receptions for 38 yards. He actually ended up scoring the tying touchdown after coming back from down 35-14 in the fourth quarter. And he ended the game with 11 receptions for 190 and 2 touchdowns, if only for 1 week, shutting up the haters. Oh, remember, it'll never work because Tua's not Mahomes. And both of them together, if only for 1 week, they silenced the crowd. I know they silenced M&T Bank Stadium. They shut up the internet, unless you were a Dolphins fan. Unless you were John Shear, shout out to you, buddy. I know you went ham and grits on the sports arena, on Sideline Sports, you know, in which we will revisit your team later on in this telecast. But meanwhile, my Gauntlet Grinder is wide receiver Tyreek Hill out there shaking and baking and making things work. Let's get the crew back on in here. We got Jahan Phillips, the part-time public figure. We got the pundit, Jacob Christner, and we got the Ravens aficionado, J.J. Jenkins. And we're going to move on to our next topic.
Part 2 of the 4 Horsemen with you. Not
Yep.
to mention Jay.
Two of the 4 Horsemen, Paul Roma and Steve McMichael.
Hey, Steve was United States champion.
Tully Blanchard in the Minnesota Wrecking
Tully my ass.
Well, moving on to the next topic here. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying it's interesting Jahan picked Jalen Hurts because he was one of those people who was not for Jalen Hurts. He first came into the
Interesting that you would bring that up on this show.
No, but I'm saying that shows how much he impacted on you for you to give him the credit that he did.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say he impacted on me. I'm still waiting to see. But he played well. He played well Monday night.
Absolutely, he did. I mean, he grinded it out. I mean, dude is a machine. He is, and he's bringing that work ethic, that leadership, and that's something that the Eagles organization needs. Especially in the wake of who departing and another who departing and everything. And just when people thought the Eagles would regress, they actually, I mean, Jalen's first, last season, the Eagles went 9-8. Now they lost that Brady, which was kind of expected, but I really think that loss in the playoffs woke them up. Trust me when I say he wants Tom Brady again. He wants Tom Brady again in the playoffs. Now, of course, he wants a Super Bowl, but he wants to beat Tom Brady on the way. So I think he's definitely getting ready for some get back. But going on to our next topic, the NFL Hall of Fame class of 2023 eligibles were released. Rounding out the crew, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Dwight Freeney. Here's a total list right here. And they go as follows. These are ones who are eligible for the Hall of Fame class of 2023. Punter Shane Leckler, tackle Joe Thomas, guard Jari Evans, defensive end Dwight Freeney, cornerback Darrelle Revis, inside linebacker Navarro Bowman, linebacker James Harrison, linebacker Elvis Dumerville, fullback Mike Tober, linebacker Tom Bahali, fullback John Kuhn, safety Cam Chancellor, running back Chris Johnson, running back DeMarco Murray, safety Jarius Byrd, linebacker Ahmad Brooks, kicker Blair Walsh, quarterback Carson Palmer, interesting.
No.
Safety TJ Ward, running back Eddie Lacy, cornerback Alderaan Verner, linebacker Lawrence Timmons, linebacker Brian Cushing, linebacker David Harris, linebacker Carlos Dansby, D'Angelo Hall, Julius Thomas, Terrence Newman, Ryan Shazier, Matt Forte, Jay Cutler, Cedric Pierman, Eric Wood, Cliff Averill, Paul Paluzny, Eric Weems, and Martellus Bennett.
You mentioned all these names, and 95% of them don't count. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Cutler?
Yeah, Jay Cutler.
No.
But
that's crazy.
We'll go around the horn real quick. We'll start off with Jahan. What names stand out to you that you think deserve to get in, and what names you stand out, they don't deserve to get in?
Revis Island for sure is getting in. Revis Island is in. Joe Thomas is in. Dwight Freeney is in. I would say Cutler is definitely not.
I know.
Cutler is definitely not. I think Navarro Bowman's interesting, depending on where you put him and how high you elevate him, and what he contributed to the game. I personally don't think he makes it, but he was consistently consistent for a long time.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're rewarding Hall off of consistency, then he's definitely in. But if you're rewarding it off of, I don't think he gets in.
Not really. Okay, then. So we're swinging on to Jacob, but before you go off, I would like to lead off with one question. So one name on here is CJ2K, Chris Johnson.
He didn't do enough. Not enough time.
So is he a yay or a nay?
Not enough time. I mean,
nothing.
He'd be dominant. He'd be dominant for the. I mean, he is dominant when he was healthy. Dominant when it's healthy, but not enough time. But let me tell you this: this looks like a Hall of Participation trophies, not a Hall of Fame. This was the most. This is one of those Grandpa will sit the kid down one day and said, I was actually on a list once of being in the Hall of Fame. It was fun. I was next to Jay Cutler, but here's the thing. You see Joe Thomas and Dwight Freeney there. They dominated their positions.
Yes.
They belong. Darrelle Revis. The only thing he belongs, but I still remember him making a business decision with Tim Tebow on Monday Night Football. Yeah. He made a business decision and got the hell out of the way during that run. But no, the thing is, though, there are so many horrible people on the list. And this reminds me, there were people that wanted to put during Steve McMichael's ALS, where they're dragging Steve McMichael out. But his carcass now, he has ALS. He cannot breathe by himself. Can't do anything. He weighs about 100 pounds now. Mm-hmm. And they're dragging him out on every picture, having people sit right him. He's lived his life, and yet he is now just existing. And people are just keeping him alive so they can see if he can get into a Hall of Fame. And he's not even on a list. And it's like, This is gross of what they're doing with him. And this is somebody who lived his life for the moment and they didn't. And all of a sudden, he's just an existing carcass. They're people to entertain. And I hate it.
JJ, what about you?
98% of these people I do not think deserve to get in on the first ballot except for Joe Thomas and Darrelle Revis.
Or any ballot. Or any ballot.
Brainy deserves to get in first ballot.
I would even say Harrison.
Let me finish. I don't think Freeney deserves to get in first ballot. I think he gets in on his third or fourth. But this one's the only ones who I could say at the absolute peak were the number one ranked at their position was Darrelle Revis and Joe Thomas, which is why for me, they are the only two that I will give the first ballot nod. I agree with Jacob a lot. Majority of that list should be not even considered for the Hall of Fame. CJ2K, if he had played in today's league, he probably would have been the more worthy Hall of Fame because his numbers would have been astronomical.
Absolutely.
But out of them, I do think Dwight Freeney is the other one, and Shane Leckler is the only other one. I would love to see if Shane Leckler is going to get in because he was the standard at punting. And
yes,
you got to value all positions. I mean, there are not abundant of them, but when you come across somebody that has shown a certain level of dominance, he has the most all-pros of any punters in the last, 30 years. I would like to see him get in, but probably his 10th or 11th. But the top three, I do agree, is Freeney, Revis, and Thomas. It's just Revis and Thomas are the only number one first ballots for me.
That's pretty fair. I would throw Harrison in there. Not sure if he's a first, definitely a second ballot. And even just all intimidation aside, but the consistency, it's like what Jahan was talking about, as far as consistency and just that boom, I think he had elements of both. At one point in time, I wasn't a fan of him, and then he just kind of grew on me over the years. But definitely love dude's work ethic, not only on the field, but also in the gym as well. Let's see. Anyone else?
Isn't he in the history book for the longest interception return in
the Super Bowl history? Yep.
Right.
Hello,
speaking of gym, if we're going to talk about gym work, take a look at some of both Cleveland Browns running backs. If you look at them in the gym with all that squats, they belong in the Hall of Fame now.
Shoot, yeah, I'm gonna say that much. I'm in agreement with all of you. Granted, these are just eligibles, but yeah, I would say a good 60% of this list will never make it, and that's just probably being light. 60% will never make it. I'm not quite sure, and I love Cam. I'm not quite sure where to rank Cam Chancellor. He might be a fourth ballot one day. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but yeah, definitely Joe Thomas. Most definitely Dwight Freeney, in my opinion. Revis, at one point in time, I would say for a few seasons, maybe more than a few, Revis was the best at his position. And at one point, it was a far away, it was not even close. There's a reason why he was called Revis Island. So but yeah. Go ahead.
The only thing that you guys may come across is when you look at the new year and see the new people eligible, you are basically, sometimes we say they're going their second or third. Some of the people before in the previous ballots that were in their first year that didn't make it, are you pushing them out the way? There's certain people. There's so many people out here, who are the real, knock it out the park, bam. To Jahan's point, when Dwight Freeney did go at his dominance, he was the profile player during that Super Bowl run in 2009. Remember, his ankle was hurt. They were talking about that ankle till nauseum because of the impact that it had on him. And he perfected, I think the spin move was his deal.
Yes.
The spin move was his thing.
Yeah, the Dwight Freeney spin.
He perfected it. I just think, it's just so many people that we talk about that hasn't made it, that should make it. You still talk about Zach Thomas. You still talk about so many other people. But it's if you keep, somebody said your people on third and fourth ballot, you might be pushing those other people further and further back. And would you put Zach Thomas in? Would you put Dwight Freeney over Zach Thomas in?
Yeah. With them coming in, they're actually competing with the guys from before because remember, there were so many misses last year. One name that stood out that people, was raising hell about that didn't get in was Devin Hester. So if Hester's on this list, if Hester was on this list, is he a first ballot? I would say yeah.
Absolutely. Devin Hester, there's never going to be another. they have completely changed they changed the rules practically because of him. No one's going to get 20 anymore. No one's going to get 5 anymore.
But to your the funny thing about, let me ask you a question. You said like I remember they were where does Tori Holt fall into this stuff?
Yep.
Would he not qualify over some people that are currently right now on their first ballot? Yeah.
You have to wonder about Tori Holt. You have to wonder this about Tori Holt. How much is he a first ballot if he's alone without Isaac Bruce?
Well, he was alone for majority of the 2000s. He still had 1,000 yards every single year.
Sure, I was just meaning but that's the Super Bowls always make. This is all I'm saying. He had.
Well, I mean, he was a rookie in the first Super Bowl, but I'm saying like he proven that he didn't need Isaac Bruce to still be dominant because he was the only dominant receiver they had on that bad Rams.
Bad teams, yeah. Bad teams, yeah.
But it's like he still produced. He made and we talk about accolades. If we're gonna talk about accolades. They always bring up the 75th team, 100 team, whatever the case may be, or all decades team. He all decade for 2000s. He's all decade. Most all pros and wide receivers are in that stretch. So it's like the accolades and the resume looks like
he should, yeah. That's why we don't understand the miss from last year.
He's been missing for a long time. Because he's been gone for a minute.
Yeah, that is true. Well, we are actually a little halfway past the halfway point of the show. So we will run this commercial, and we'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
I'm running like my hands on fire, and I don't intend to stop even when my legs grow tired. And I got a message from Colorado straight from Texas. Captured most of me, just let me be.
And we are back with the Gauntlet. That was our sponsor. We are sponsored by Yeti. We're also sponsored by Fanatics. And I'm back with the crew. We got the sip off Jahan Phillips in the house. We got the pundit Jacob Christian in the house. And we got a shell of JJ Jenkins who's getting his grub bone back there. You know what I mean? But
he's a shell, all right. He's on his back and he can't get up.
He's trying to get himself back. You know, I feel it. What's that, Taco Bell?
No, soul food.
Oh, okay then. Oh, okay. I see you. Okay.
You ain't got no soul though.
He drank it out of him. He drank it out of himself.
I'm listening. I mean, I ain't drinking no more. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
at least for another week.
At least for another. That's what I was about to say. At least for another week. Well,
no, I haven't drank in 2 months. This is the first time.
Oh shoot!
Hey, you're trying to catch up to me. I never drink.
Oh, he's well past you. JJ's well past you. Well, let's get on to our next topic here, and that is a quick recap of our Thursday night football game. The Browns won 29-17 over the rival Steelers, and we've got a 2-1 Browns team, y'all. They seem to be doing a little okay without Deshaun Watson. You look at Jacoby Brissett, you know, and I get it. You know, this was a TJ Wattless defense, but for a career backup, 21-31 for 220 and 2 touchdown passes, but Cleveland's rushing stole the show with Nick Chubb, 23 carries on the ground for 113 and a touchdown. Now, in addressing the Steelers, I've been just kind of horsing around on Bleacher Report, and I'm seeing these knee-jerk reaction articles specifically criticizing Mitchell Trubisky. And Jacob, I know you're going to be waiting in the wings on this one because it's almost like they're calling for Pickett immediately. You know, keep in mind that, you know,
I hate fans.
We know. Bear in mind that this is a new offense for Trubisky. He's gotten pretty much the short end of the stick since his days in Chicago, and it's only week 3. You know, so like I said, total knee-jerk reaction. It was just, you know, Cleveland's night. But Jahan, give us your thoughts on the Thursday night football game.
I've been a Mike Tomlin supporter for a while. So this game kind of shocked me because I feel like this was one of those that he's got to win. As difficult as this season going to be in sustaining his record of never losing, are having a losing season. This was one of these must wins. You have a Cleveland team that's void of Deshaun Watson. So you're getting them not even with their best quarterback right now. So you have to take advantage of these situations. I absolutely was stunned by this result. And it lead me to believe maybe the Panthers are better than advertised because they had this Cleveland Browns team on the ropes. Like it took a miracle performance at the end for Cleveland to beat Carolina. So maybe Carolina's better than advertised. I play a little fantasy. I don't know if you fellas do, but I do. I started Pittsburgh's defense over Buffalo's defense this week because Buffalo's playing Miami.
I couldn't blame you.
I thought for sure that this was the start of the week defensively. I thought we're going in. Cleveland doesn't have a QB, or they don't have a QB that should win them games. Pittsburgh also doesn't have a QB because, Trubisky, who he is, Pickett's who he is. Who's Cleveland or Pittsburgh's quarterback? So
it's a lot about Deshaun coming from Mitch, where he came from college.
I love Mitch Trubisky. He got to the playoffs in a Matt Nagy offense. Trugotsky. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So I love Trubisky, but I just like they are who they are. This is guys trying to replace somebody that's a legendary quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. They don't have an identity yet, and this is what you see. This is a divisional game, a grinded out game, and this is what you saw.
Jacob, swinging it on to you. Your thoughts on the Thursday night football game and any potential knee-jerk reactions about Mitchell.
I'm not going to admit I'm not going to even listen to those. I do enough on Twitter. I call them morons, idiots, emotional nitwits, however many things I can come up with. The thing about it is, for one thing, Mitchell Trubisky is going to be what Mitchell Trubisky is. I love the guy in Chicago. I love him. I'm like you, Joanne. I love the guy. But he is going to be what he is. He's about a 9-8, 10-7 guy. He had his 13-3 year, but that's what he is. This is what I said this the other day about Mitchell Trubisky. He's a millionaire with special skills, like, he can move around. You know what I'm saying? He can move around the pocket, or I'm just saying he can scramble. He can do those things. He's a millionaire with special skills that acts like a working man that's just happy to have a job. He acts like it. He acts like it. It's like, this is the big thing about it. It's the fact that all these idiot fans that want Pickett, they wanted Trey Lance last year in the NFC title game in San Francisco. They wanted him there so badly. Oh my God, he'd be so much better. He played game 1 against Chicago. Don't care about the rain. He looked miserable. Then he was looking miserable, and then he got his leg broke. They don't know anything. They wanted Justin Fields last year. Oh, my God. He's going to break all those records. Oh, my God. 4,000 yards finally. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's our superhero. We make it look great. 9 sacks first game. And then it just kept going. He had a couple good games here and there. But then all offseason, the Bears fans used the same 10 good plays he played all year and missed the rest of the 70 he missed. They did that because this is what fans do. They suck. They suck, and it's like, and they do this stuff, and then when it blows up, they forget all about it, and they're going to do the same to Pickett. Pickett had 4 plays in preseason. He looked good, but he had 4 plays in preseason. Saw about 4 looks on defenses. They are wanting him now to come in against Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, all those teams. They're going to get him killed. They're going to get him killed. Fans need to shut up. Here's the thing. Mitchell Trubisky has 53 starts. In the end, he's going to go probably 9-8, 10-7 again here. He probably is, because that's what he does. He is not a losing quarterback. But he's also, maybe he get one winning. Maybe he'll get one win in a playoff game. He's not going to win a Super Bowl. That's fine. And that's fine. Some don't. But the biggest thing is, it is better to have as a deal right now, a veteran quarterback that knows the deal, 6 years in, than it is to get your first rounder killed in the murderer's row and then lose his confidence. So these fans need to shut up.
JJ, on you, man. This was a game in your division. Curious to hear your thoughts on how you feel this will affect when the Ravens play them. I know it's any given Sunday, any given Thursday, or whatever. But I mean, did these two teams look entirely terrible to you, or what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, first, how could I back up Jacob after that? Good grief. My man ain't playing with certain fans out here.
Certain?
Certain?
Certain? I hate fans.
Well, I'll sit there and say certain because I'm a fan. Now, you ain't talking to me. I get you on that.
Oh, really? But, no, I'm not talking to you. You know that. You know it.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, one thing that's always been a staple for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last 20 years, even when their other quarterback had not been doing so well, is an offensive line. They don't have one. And because they don't have an offensive line, they're not able to allow someone like Mitch Trubisky, who was a game manager, to be able to operate. And inversely, look at the other team. Jacoby Brissett is just meant to manage the game. They have their identity. They are a run-first team, and then they set them up to possess the ball. That's why they went out and got the big possession receiver in Amari Cooper. Amari can break it loose, but he's really that possession guy to work those intermediate and sometimes long routes. Again, Cleveland, offensive line. Their offensive line is stout. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are there. So all Jacoby has to do is just continue to make the passes that need to, which typically be on third downs that are third and long. Pittsburgh don't got that. And inversely, they played against a team that did have a defensive line. And so Mitch Trubisky cannot function if he doesn't have a stable offensive line because he is one of those quarterbacks that needs time to see things. If he doesn't have time, he doesn't have the wherewithal to make the right decision to be able to continue to progress the drive, but he needs the time. And if they don't be able to rely on a run game, he got to sit there. If teams know they're going to be sitting there waiting for Mitch to throw the football on them, he's going to encounter a lot of problems. In terms of the rookie, I understand the frustration Jacob is having. I understand the frustration why people were saying, why, people don't know things or something like that. But that, unfortunately, that's the society that we live in. Before maybe 10, 15 years ago, there wasn't even a thought of a rookie quarterback starting at all. It wasn't even a thought. It was, he was going to sit for a year, and then next year, maybe, but he has to win out the job.
Well, 3 years was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, 3 years.
Exactly, or 3 years. It's just at the end of the day. But, when they started seeing, and it started, honestly, with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco, when they started seeing them come in on really good teams and be able to start being successful, it pushed up the clock for fans wanting, because every fan thinks that rookie quarterback, they're all optimistic. He's going to be the one to change the tide, period, point blank. That's this. And then not everybody's like that. I think Pickett, they need to focus on getting that offensive line together. Figure out what you want to do. Are you going to be a hardcore run game where you got Najee Harris and then Benny Snell back there who are in goal line situations? Or you're going to be a team that thinks Trubisky can assess the reads and make the right read every time? Because Jacob's right. The defenses are only going to get harder. The defenses he's playing against are only going to be more complex and will be much more aggressive with him than Cleveland's defense. And as far as the team as Baltimore, how I look at them both, I said this before and I'll say it again. The only issue, Baltimore, top to bottom, with their quarterback elevated, is the best team in the AFC North. And the teams out there are going to be tough to play against them, but that offense is not going to be easy to stop. That offense is not going to be something. So both teams, and again, as Baltimore has their offensive line now. If they can block and they can keep it going against these teams like Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I can see Baltimore sweeping both of them.
Well, the biggest thing is, and I can see that, but it's like, there's the big thing, though. It's like you brought up Trubisky, and this is the thing. You're completely correct on him, but this is the thing also. He dealt with Matt Nagy, which I had you should have heard me last year. It's like he dealt with Matt Nagy, and then now he deals with Matt Canada, and it's like at some point, is he going to have to just take the initiative? Because every time he scores. This year, he's got 4 touchdowns this year. But every time he scores, he's on up tempo. and he's in no huddle, and it's all that stuff. Is he just going to have to just ignore Canada or any of the other offensive line to show if he's going to do it? I don't think he will, because I think he's too nice, and I think he's Mr. Working Man. But when you have bad OCs, sometimes you might just need to take the initiative and let him take the risk.
But if you assess what everybody has said about this Pittsburgh team, nobody's liked any offensive coordinator they've had. They didn't like Todd Haley when he was back with them. Try to get rid of him. They were over Bruce Arians after a little stint and everything.
But that was stupid though, because Arians. That's stupid though, because Arians is awesome.
Right, and then they offered the Canada. The guy before Matt Canada. Like, they're really, to be honest with you, Ben Roethlisberger's covered up a lot of deficiencies that they had, and now they don't really know how to identify the type of offense they want to be known for, because they're so used to depending upon their quarterback to create the offense for them.
Well, and that was tough the last couple of years because he couldn't move around anymore, Roethlisberger. But
he couldn't move around. He couldn't move around, but he still knew what plays are trying to get in to balance out whatever's being thrown at them. So he knew that, okay, even though he may not be able to get it down there within 20 yards, let me throw it some quick 10 because I see this coverage right here and I'm going to shift out of it.
Well, this is my Jordan, you're correct.
Right.
A lot of people liked Arians, but there were ones that would, as he would say, scream at him to go get a fullback. It's like the old and stuff like that. And of course, he would say never. And it's like, and those were, but that's the thing though. It's like when I say this about Trubisky, when I was saying that part, I was saying this. It's like if he wants to save his career in truth, this is going to be his last starting job. Let's just be honest. Love the guy, but this is his last starting job. Just take if it is Canada, take the initiative and just go up tempo. Just figure things. Start doing audibles. Start doing everything like that and just prove yourself. Because if it doesn't by itself, I'm not even going to talk about this year because in truth, I don't think Pickett plays much this year, if at all. I'm saying this will be his last starting job in the NFL.
But see, I'll be real quick because I know we got to wrap up into
sure.
that.
Wrap it up, B.
Thank you,
all
Sox.
Right, real quick. This is just Mr. Trubisky's and the career that he's had is just no indicative of a coach who had too much pride than to build an offense catered to around him.
Yep.
Look at, you just mentioned Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Their team's committed to building the offenses around them. And I think that's the problem with what Chicago's not doing for Justin Fields, because you got to get them in there. I always say like this: quarterbacks like them need to understand how to be a pro first. So you have to tailor the offense to them so they can understand how to study the playbook, how to assess the defense and things like that. Once they feel these show that they've mastered it, then you can see if they have the ability to change to a new offense. Because if they can't master their own offense, how can they master what your offense is trying to be? Like, you got to get it together.
Yeah.
I was so before real quick. I'll just say I was so brutal. I was so brutal to Bears fans. Even before he stepped on the thing for preseason, I was so brutal to them. I said, this is going to happen. They did not see it coming. I saw every bit of that coming. It's like they didn't build anything around him. He didn't do one little deal, and it was stunk, and I hate it.
Well, we got about 7 minutes left in the show, but just real quick, next topic. Week 3 preview, Bills at Dolphins. This is the potential game of the week, y'all, considering the Bills being on a tear and what happened last week. So we got two young quarterbacks colliding. It's a divisional rivalry game. John, swinging it to you. Do the Bills keep rolling, or is this a letdown game?
Bills keep rolling. Diggs and Allen are too much right now. I think Dolphins got their high last week with coming back on the Ravens, and I think the Bills roll. Like, I don't think it's close. Bills by 10.
All right. Well, what about you, Jacob? You got the Bills or the Fins?
I don't care. I would say just Bills by a field goal, but like 53-52 or something like that. I can see that. I can see another Rams Chiefs deal. But my thing is, if the Bears, if the Bills and Dolphins to me are the UFC of now, with like 21,000 people in every stand and all the TV networks and everything. The Bears and Texans will be the UFC of early years, where a bunch of drunk guys got into it and from bars walked into a ring.
Walk straight from the bar with Tate Fist.
Yeah, right.
JJ, what about you, man? You got the Bills or the Dolphins?
So, I honestly think I have a little bit of an asterisk for last week's comeback win against the Ravens. And the simple fact of the matter is, and this has kind of been known about what they don't have, that what Buffalo does have, a pass rush. And a big reason why they were able to have the time to make them out the comebacks because Baltimore, our pass rush has been bad. It hasn't been good since Terrell Suggs' last Pro Bowl season back in 2015. So when you don't have a pass rush, it makes it easier for a team trying to come back because they have ample time. Buffalo has the pass rush, and Buffalo has a very talented secondary. Now, albeit Micah Hyde is now gone for the entire year, which is a big loss for them, but they still have like Teron Johnson, the Jordan Poyers, and I think Trey White's coming back. Not sure, but it's a good matchup. And I think this is one of those matchups. It's one of those everyone's got to try to double down to believe that their rights are back behind Miami in this matchup. But at the same time, I can honestly see Miami getting destroyed. I can honestly see Buffalo coming in as the neighborhood bully as they've done in the past and do more of the same. Because one thing that Buffalo does that most teams did not have to do, especially for a team like this, is they don't let you get beat deep. There always is somebody back there. So if you have that back there for the speed that is going to be in front of you with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, you can play the long game. May not give may give up the yards, but not give up the touchdown. And you don't want the big play touchdown because the big play touchdown often is the killer for games that are really close because it changes momentum and makes the team get deflated. But I think Miami is still a decent team and a good team. But I've seen from what I've seen in this game, it really had less to do, in my opinion, with them coming back and being better than Baltimore to say that they can do this against Buffalo, because Baltimore's secondary was not as the same as Buffalo's. The communication was off. It won't be like that in Buffalo. They're going to cover, and I think they're going to win by like 14, 17 points.
Okay, interesting. Awesome breakdown just there. On to the next one for a week 3 preview. We've got Packers at Buccaneers. Keep in mind that the last 2 times that Aaron Rodgers faced Tom Brady, he did lose, and one of them was the NFC Championship game in his house. The one previous, he visited Tom Brady and got smacked 38-10. Now the Packers, they had a bad loss in week 1, but then they picked it back together for a win versus Chicago at home last week, albeit it was Chicago. Now, I do feel like the Bucs got the tougher win last week by beating the Saints. Even though it was a 3-3 game, after that fight, they dominated the rest of the way. So, I mean, it's always Aaron Rodgers and Brady in a slugfest. It's going to be close. I've got the Buccaneers by a touchdown. I'm going to say Bucs 20. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I got him by 4. I'm gonna say Bucs 27, Pack 23. They hold Aaron Rodgers to under 30 points. They definitely win in the game. But Jahan, your thoughts, man?
No Mike Evans. That's big. I think Brady has looked really 45 years old since this season has started. He's got a lot going. Giselle says, "Look, I'm leaving if you ain't done," and he's like, "Look, I'm done, baby."
Yeah.
I'm taking Green Bay in this one. Rodgers, the last 2 years, week 1 has looked bad, but after that, he rolls. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with this pattern continuing. I got the Packers by 7. I'm gonna go with Packers by a touchdown.
Jacob, on you. Who you got? The Ghost or A-Rod?
Mike Evans a how? Mike Evans a how? Okay, who is that? Who, where, when, why? I don't know, and how. But okay. Well, all I know, the big thing is right now, I think it's going to be Green Bay because, for one thing, because of the injuries, they're going to be bringing in someone like Cole Beasley, who, he's going to be so rusty. And then, by the way, no truth to the rumor that Travis Reich-Snyder is going to take him in for a starting wide receiver in his fantasy team. But anyway, everybody's going to get that part of that. But the biggest thing is he has looked every bit of 45, maybe 50. And he looks really gaunt. And he's not. And some of his throws that used to go 60 yards are going 30. He looks real. And it's like, here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers. He's not looking any different. And I could see a 15, 20-point blowout. I really could, because he's got all the receivers he's going to have. Tom Brady is relying on a bunch of kids, even veterans who are coming off of the practice squads. And they're going to be coming off of that thing. And then there's injuries. And then you got to wonder if Julio Jones is going to play and he's hurt. And it's just like, it's going to be a close first quarter, then it's going to blow it away the rest of the way.
Okay. And real quick, JJ, on you.
I actually kind of disagree with the notions on this. I think both of them have not really looked exceptional, and I think I'm not going to take too much stock in Aaron Rodgers saying he got it back together against a team that he says all the
time. He usually has it back together against.
He owns them. So at the end of the day, when you have Tampa Bay's defense, which is a little bit much healthier, and their secondary is a lot better, I don't really trust those rookie receivers based off of last week's game to sit there and say, oh, they're finally able to take it to the next level. I see this as honestly a game where you don't be mad at them if both of those quarterbacks stink it up in terms of having maybe like 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, or 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I think both of them, the teams that they really want to win, we have to try to rely on your run game. Because I don't think the passing game is going to be there. And I think in the end, I will give the nod 17-14 Buccaneers, because I think I would still trust, if I had to say whose weapons can make a play to get and win the game against the other one, I would still trust the Bucs weapons over the Packers weapons.
Yes. And you know what? I do think that, with the absence of Mike Evans, it's going to force the defense to step up a little bit more. Once again, they dominated the Saints in their house in the second half. The defense is not playing around. It's entirely possible that both quarterbacks could look bad come tomorrow, and it could come down to the defense. It's entirely possible that Aaron Jones may be the best offensive player all day, but at the same time, just like you said, 17-14, who's making the stop when it counts? I got the Bucs defense. So
I played the sports bet, and I'm not touching that. And nobody on this game. Okay, I ain't touching nobody.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, we're slightly overtime, but we're gonna squeeze this in for a quick 2 minutes, and that's our non-sports topic. What is your favorite holiday? Me, I've always loved Christmas. Of course, being born and raised in Texas, we hadn't seen too many cold ones like that. But it's just something about the vibe, because I'm a big family person. And then also, there's the food, there's the gift giving, there's, the sports on TV, something about coming together at Christmas time. They could spare playing Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, for like 1 or 2 or 10 years.
No.
But not mine is Christmas. John, who you got?
Other than my birthday, of course, when I was a kid, I loved Christmas. Now that I'm older, Thanksgiving is more important to me. The time for the family.
You bet not.
The food, the festivities, everybody just getting together. I also used to love 4th of July, because unbeknownst to y'all, summer's my favorite season, and it always fell the week after my birthday. So I always felt like it was like kind of a continued celebration of my birthday. So I always love 4th of July.
Okay, then. All right. Jacob, what about you, man? Favorite holiday?
Christmas. It's definitely Christmas. I love Thanksgiving too, but I love anything that gets a family together, gets friends together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like a time where we could all just say, especially with Sideline Sports family and everything, Merry Christmas, any of that stuff. And happy Thanksgiving too. I'd say Christmas is close, but I like the idea of just, there's a certain piece to it. Even if you're in your own house, even if it's a small get together or whatever, there's a small piece to it. We don't have a lot of peace in this world right now. So even if it's your own inner peace inside where you're at, it's everything. And you're with a few people, 5, 6, 7 people, whatever. It's when you're going out in the world and there's so much chaos, you want that peace for that moment. So definitely Christmas.
Absolutely. And JJ, we'll end things with you. Favorite holiday?
Excuse me. I'll have to say Thanksgiving, for the simple fact of, I come from 2 very large families, and to the point where our Thanksgivings is people traveling from California, sometimes across the world, to get in with us. And we are, of course, watching football. We're playing games on full stomachs, which usually doesn't really end well. But, it's just sitting back and having everybody around. And that is the one day where everybody should happily be gluttons and eat to the point of their no heart's content. And it's and my family, it's really special because we do something very different every year. And I liked most of the times, like, it's always about talking about something that you're thankful for of that year. And then the next year, it's like you talk to that one person you interact and tell them what you're thankful for what they did for you this year, because everybody interacts with each other.
Absolutely. I feel that. So we are out of time. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the show, leaving the react. Shout out to Megan Price, who was in the comments, as well as Jordan Pennington and Jahan Phillips, man. Thanks for coming on the show. I know it's a little last minute, you know what I mean?
Nah,
but
man.
Jahan, you're awesome.
You go ahead and clock out. You clock out part-time, man. Clock out. You're good.
He put in his 30 hours.
Yeah.
No, more like 12.
He works overtime because he usually works 1 hour a week. So this
I'm requesting benefits. I'm requesting benefits for doing this show today.
He got the overtime because he works 2 hours this week as opposed to
Brett
1.
Favre for the benefits. Ask Brett Favre.
Oh, dang. Brett Favre, additional Sports Moron of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jahan only came on the show because I offered him PTO, y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? But, hey.
He got that time and a half. That's what he got.
Hey, that time and a half be hitting, though. And shout out to Jacob Christner. Thanks for coming on. I know it was a little short notice also.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We had a great show. And, Jahan, let everybody know where they can catch you.
Thursday nights, the sip off. But we're on a break right now. So we will be back probably the third week of the NBA season. Just tune in. We appreciate everybody. We just ended season 2 last night, and it was a special Friday show because of work constraints. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for showing up. Everybody that's been a part of it. We appreciate you. And I alluded to that last night, but just reiterating it every time. Thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with us.
And, if you're interested, and I highly suggest if you like, sipping a little drink and talking about, some water cooler conversations about basketball, definitely tune into the Sip Off. They're in between seasons right now. So if you'll go on YouTube and find them on YouTube and go watch some old seasons to kind of check out how the format goes, get you a little pumped up for season 3, which Jahan said is coming after the third week of the season. They got the best in NBA talk, college hoops, WNBA, you name it, so definitely go and check them out and leave likes on their page as well. Jacob Christner, on you. Where can they find you?
Sunday nights, you, me, Will, Dom, the Basket Bros. Monday nights during the season, Megan Price's NBA Carousel. We'll see who I'm representing there, and I'll find out probably this week. Tuesday nights during the year, we're down to last week, confidential. And then we'll be next year more prime time, not 11 o'clock. Wednesday nights, doubleheader, the Pundit's Pundit, and the Sports Exchange with Scott. It's me, you, Scott, and Jen. And then the Sports Exchange with Scott. And then Thursday nights, I go separate, and I've got a show called Yin and Yang with TJ Sampson. We're also working on a movie together. So a lot of stuff going on in my life.
Absolutely. Busy man, And JJ, wrapping things up with you. Where can they find you?
Oh, hey, great. Awesome. Yeah, honestly, you already know the deal. Haven't been able to thanks to my phone, but I'm normally on the Sip Off on Thursdays. NFL Carousels on Thursday. Sometimes the ladies let me on 3 Chicks Live on Wednesdays. Mondays is NBA Carousel and the Gauntlet on Saturday. Sorry, yeah, the Gauntlet is on Saturday. No, but everything is awesome. Joe Jenkins with the E or no E is my Twitter handle with 0907, one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you'll find me. I have a nice.
Let me interrupt before we get off of here, man. Joseph's birthday is Tuesday, y'all. Happy early birthday to him.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wow.
Hey, happy 21st birthday. Enjoy your legal drink.
I sure the heck don't feel like I'm 21, but thank you, man.
Absolutely, we got a lot of great.
The second time somebody surprised me because I got surprised last night with them bringing a churro, and I was just like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" I'm just running my mouth talking about nothing. Forgot that somebody snuck off and told them that my birthday was on Tuesday, and then Jahan pulled this one. I appreciate it. I wasn't even tripping.
Absolutely, yes. Definitely happy early birthday.
Great working with you for the first time, Jahan.
Yes, sir.
And JJ.
You as well. Likewise.
And JJ.
Thank you. Absolutely, man. I appreciate
and Denzel
you.
all the time. I mean, come on.
All the time. You can't get rid of me. We're around all week.
It's like we're brothers that want to get away from each other, but we can't.
But can't, yeah. Absolutely. But hey, a lot of great things going on. So please find us on Sideline Sports and leave a like and tune in. We got many great shows. Shout out to Eric Wilson. He's got the Sports Arena. Also, of course, Mega Price, Jahan, AB Sip Off. We got 3 Chicks in a Pod. We got Confidential on Tuesdays. We got Basket Bros on Sundays. There's also the Cold Hard Truth out there. There's many shows, and then the J&J Express. So if you bet on sports, check that out. That's also on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we're out of time. Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. Watch somebody get killed in one of these college football games. So for the part-time public figure, the pundits punted, and the Ravens aficionado, I am Captain Denzel Snipes. We will see you in 7. Peace!